This is Adam with Dirty Grout Be Gone, and we're at a customer's house here in the Villages, Florida. We're doing what's called a master shower makeover. As you can see, they've got major mold and mildew issues. They've got cracks along their tile edge here where water has tried to evaporate out from behind the shower area, and there's quite a bit of damage in here. We'll just kind of focus here a little bit on what they've got. We're going to be cutting out all this mold and mildew around the edges. Where the floor meets the wall, you can see there's an extensive amount of mold and mildew. The reason is that somebody has put caulk over the actual grout, and the moisture from behind is trying to come back through and evaporate from behind the walls, because grout is porous and it's designed to allow moisture to go through it and then let the moisture come back. But with a raincoat covering of caulk or even silicone, it makes it impossible. So what you get is a mold and mildew issue from behind. What you see on the front is just a partial amount of actually what is behind there. So what we need to do, they've even got a seam here in the center of their floor that somebody had put caulk over, and you can see the moisture is trying to come through there also. They can clean this all they want, but it's not going to help the issue. We've got to actually remove the caulking from the edges and completely remove the grout that the caulk is over, and we have to re-grout. This makeover for the shower is going to take somewhere around 4 to 5 hours, and what we're going to do is there's going to be an elapsed time period there, obviously, and so what you're going to do is see segments as we go along here, and we will explain what we're doing and show you how we're doing it. Again, this is Adam with Dirty Grout Be Gone. This is a master shower makeover. When we get done, the shower is going to look virtually brand new. We'll clean up the glass windows here, get all the water stains off. You can see some there at the bottom, and fill in all the cracks in the walls and everything. Thank you. Here we are in the master shower getting ready to actually cut out the caulking along with grinding out the grout behind it and underneath it. I'm using a oscillating tool here. You can get them at different places, different hardware stores, Sears, and it actually has a really cool cutting tip that's got like a file on both sides of it. And so as we get down in here, it's actually going to file this problematic stuff out. So here we go. As you can see, The removal process is the most time-consuming part of this whole program. If we don't get it all out, our new grout is not going to stick. Caulk will stick to the grout because of the porosity of the grout, but grout will not stick to caulk because caulk is so smooth. So it's imperative that we get everything ground out. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be about a 5-hour job. The time elapsed, you will see us doing different segments as we go along. We've got the prep work done here, cutting out the old caulk. This is going up to the seat. You can see we've had to cut out quite a bit, and even going up the wall area here, we've cut out some. And this is in preparation, of course, for regrouting here in the shower. But you can see we've cut out quite a bit. What we didn't cut out caulk and grout wise, we've actually ground down in the grout area so that new grout will stick. But we did cut out a considerable amount. And we've spent about 4 hours doing the prep work here, just trying to get everything removed that needs to be removed. We'll clean all this mess up shortly. This is the center of the floor. Look what can you believe that? There was absolutely no grout in that line between the tiles. It was all caulk, and you can see it along the edges there. I just can't imagine anybody doing a shower with that kind of work. Here there's just a little bit of grout right here at the end. Absolutely amazing. So we'll get this cleaned up, and we have a few more preparations to make before putting in the new grout and also the new silicone here in the doorway. As you can see, we've still got the corner section here with silicone buildup in it and a little bit of dust. We have two options to get this out. Number one, we can use a blade here from the utility knife, or we can also use a pointed triangular tip here on the oscillating tool. I'm going to opt to use the triangular tip on the oscillating tool first, and if I need to, I can always go back to the utility knife here with the blade. The other thing, before I forget it, that the utility knife blade is really good for is going along in these small grout lines, look at that, and getting out the excess caulk that's up in those grout lines that you can't get out with any other tools. And so what happens is you have to go all the way around the entire floor. Look what's coming out here. You have to go around the entire floor area and use this tool on the grout lines. Alright, let's see what we can do here with the oscillating tool in this corner. I have to knock it here to get it going. Okay, as you can see, it really cut it out here. Look at that. That whole section of caulk is just popping right out. So this has to be done in all the corners. And if we don't get this out, our new grout will not be able to stick in it. Look at all that junk coming out of there. So I have a little bit of work to still do here with this tip, and we'll follow up here after I get it all cut out. As you can see, we've really cleaned this floor up well, gotten rid of the residue from all of the caulking, and we've got everything dried off. We're going to be putting the grout in and brand new silicone in certain areas. Right now, we also cleaned up across the front of the door here and down at the threshold. We cleaned all that old caulk out. We're going to put brand new silicone in. And we're actually cleaning the front door now, the glass door. And we're using a acid-based product to wipe this down. It takes the water stains off. And when we get done, the glass is going to be cleaner than clean. You can already see the chrome shining where we've gone over the chrome really well. It just really brings back the shine. The good news is it's regrouting time. Even under the stoop here at the front entryway that I've stepped over to get into the shower area here, we've had to cut out all the caulk that was under there. We're going to be regrouting, and I'm going to show you here. You'll see a small section being regrouted, and it's going to make it so nice. It's going to look so new, and this is the best part of the day for me because it means that I've had a very successful moment getting the preparation work done. And now all we need to do is the finish work here with the grout. And it actually goes pretty quickly. You want to put enough on your sponge. We're really having to push it in there because there's absolutely nothing between the seat tiles and the wall tiles here. So we're really working it in deep. Okay, what we'll do is we'll finish applying the grout in all areas, and then we'll come back and we'll wipe it to give it a finished clean look. And you'll see that very shortly. As you can see, we're making headway putting the new grout in. We've got repairs on the wall. We're going up the seat. We're going clear up the wall here, across the back of the seat, down. This is up the wall here again. This is quite a process, but once it's done, it's going to look really fabulous. The grout line is so wide and also so deep right there in the floor. There was absolutely nothing going all the way down to the sand. So what we're doing is we're speed drying the grout a little bit with our heat gun that you use for stripping furniture in order to make sure that we're not going to have any sagging. This will give us an opportunity to put more grout in before the job is done if we dry the base and then we just put a real thin coat back over it. What we're doing now is we're actually wiping off the excess grout from the tiles. And what we need is a damper sponge to get it off. You don't want to wipe off too much because it'll take the grout out of the grout lines. Cindy has used the heat gun to dry that grout in the grout lines on the wall because it's very thin, and we want to make sure that it sticks good and doesn't come completely out while she's wiping. So we're kind of fighting against ourselves at the same time. It's a little better for us because it's going to ensure that the grout is sticking now that she's dried it. But as you can see there, it's a little on the stiff side, so she's just going to use a little bit more water here in the sponge. Now, once all the grout is wiped up, we will actually look and see if there's any areas that we need to recoat. And at the same time, once this is dry and everything's been wiped off, there will be what we call grout dust on the tiles, and that's just a real light film of grout dust that will come off with the first shower. If we endeavor to get every bit of grout dust off, we will wipe out all of the grout that we've put in. So there is a fine line there of knowing when to stop and when to wipe. She's got a bucket there with about 4 inches of water, and when that water gets tainted from wiping, we've got another 5-gallon bucket, and she will dump the water from the orange bucket into the white 5-gallon bucket put more fresh water in the orange bucket and continue wiping, and then once again when that water gets tainted, continue pouring that 4 inches or so into the white bucket so she doesn't have to make so many trips outside. The last thing that anybody should do, you do not want to put the dirty grout water down a sink or down the toilet, because it can actually clog the pipes. I'm speaking from experience. So what we do is we take the tainted water once we're done with it, and we just spill it onto the ground and hose it in to dilute it real good. On occasion we have put it down sewer drains. I don't like putting it down the sewer drains, and we don't have a whole lot of options, however. We're pretty well done with the master shower makeover. You can see the difference here. A little bit of grout dust on the walls still, but look at that. There's that thick line going right down the center of those tiles. Isn't that something? But look at that. That shower looks almost brand spanking new now. The only thing we have left to do is to put the caulk here at the front of the threshold and finish that off, also up along the wall area here, and everything else has been done and completed. And we're finishing up the caulk, or actually silicone, here along the front door jamb. Cindy's wiping off the excess, and that completes our master shower makeover.